an LGBTQ trans activist is recently been arrested, and you wouldn't believe what they're arrested for. Take a look.
Here, a Philadelphia transgender activist identified as Kendall Stevens is now charged with sexually assaulting 2 children under the age of 13.
Action News reporter Annie McCormick, she's live for us outside police headquarters with the new details we're learning about this, Annie.
Yeah, Gray and Shari, disturbing details. Kendall Stevens was arrested today for the rape of a minor. Sources confirm that she is the same Stevens who is a prominent LGBTQ activist in the city. The state attorney general's office filed charges tonight against 37-year-old Kendall Stevens. The charges include the indecent assault against a person less than 13 years old.
Check this out. Hold on. Let's read this for a second. I don't want to skip over this. Charges include forcible compulsion, IDSI, forcible compulsion. I don't even know what that is. Unlawful contact with a minor, sexual offenses, endangering welfare of children, corruption of minors, defendant age 18 or above, indecent assault of person less than 13 years of age, and so on and so forth. Let me continue to play this, and we're going to come back and revisit it.
Rape, unlawful contact with minors, sexual offenses, and endangering the welfare of children, parent or guardian. Stevens came to Action News in August of 2020 after she was attacked in her Point Breeze neighborhood. She says she was targeted by a violent group for being a trans woman. Stevens then became a prominent activist for the LGBTQ community. She urged lawmakers to change Pennsylvania's hate crime statute to include protections for LGBTQ people. She is seen here in March of 2021 at a press conference launching District Attorney Larry Krasner's LGBTQ Plus Advisory Board. The board was created in part to be a source of information and resources for victims and survivors of crime within the community.
It means to me that the transgender population will finally get the support that we need from city officials that we really haven't gotten historically.
Sources tell Action News the charges are in relation to the rape of 2 young boys under the age of 13.
And let me be clear, according to the news reports that I read, they saying under the age of 13. So it's really 2 young boys they're saying, based off of what I read, 2 years old. 2 years old. No, not just under the age of 13, 2 years old.
Stevens remains in custody tonight. A spokesperson for the district attorney's office said in a statement, the investigation of allegations against her is being led by another agency, and as such, we have no comment. Now, judge did set bail at $250,000. The next court appearance is scheduled for December 29th. Often, the state attorney general's office takes on cases from local district attorney's offices if there's a conflict. For now,
so let's be clear. 37 years old. To my understanding, biologically born a male. Accusations: indecent assault against an individual under the age of 13, unlawful contact involving minor sexual offenses, and jeopardizing the welfare of children, parent, or guardian, amongst others. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And so it's funny as we have these conversations and we read through this, because they're limiting. Think about this, y'all. Now, had it been me or you or any other person that operates within their normalcy, they would have threw us under the bus. Now, I know that they're arrested and they're being accused of whatever it is that they're being accused of. And I believe in innocence until proven guilty. And I believe also that we have to follow the law, because we can't convict somebody in a court of public opinion. But in reality, what you're being accused of should be entirely disclosed to us. And so don't just tell me that they're under the age of 13. I want you to also tell me that based off of what I read, according to all of these news outlets and the research, because I had to do a little bit more research, that there are people, the ones that they're actually accused of assaulting is actually around 2 years old. We're going to leave that right there. We're going to go over to the next subject. Oh, shoot. Tell me that I didn't update that. Give me a second. Want to make sure that the stuff is updated because I knew that I updated it, but apparently I didn't update it. So we just gonna make sure that we get everything properly updated. All right. In other news, Anthony Edwards is being accused of paying a chick $100,000 in order to have an abortion. Unreal.
The private life of Minnesota Timberwolves superstar Anthony Edwards is playing out publicly on social media.
Edwards is responding to allegations that he paid a woman to get an abortion after cheating on his long-term girlfriend, who is also expecting a child. Reg Chapman has the story.
Anthony Edwards is leading the Minnesota Timberwolves to their hottest start in years, but now the superstar is dealing with another kind of heat after a woman accused him of paying her to get an abortion after cheating on his long-term girlfriend, who was also expecting. The allegations surfaced Monday on Instagram. The images of the text, which WCCO has not been able to independently verify, show a conversation between two parties, one of whom is allegedly Edwards. The other is model Paige Jorday, who posted the text on her Instagram page. In the text, Jorday sent a picture of her pregnancy test. The screenshot replies showing the other person instructing her to get an abortion. They also replied that they would send money. Jorday posted an Instagram story later showing a receipt for an incoming wire transfer for $100,000. According to the messages, the other person demanded video proof of Paige taking the right abortion pill and asked her to handle this like grown-ups. We reached out to representatives for Edwards and the Timberwolves for comment, but did not immediately hear back. Edwards released the following statement on X, formerly known as Twitter. I made comments in the heat of the moment that are not me, and that are not aligned with what I believe and who I want to be as a man. All women should be empowered to make their own decisions about their bodies and what is best for them. I am handling my personal matters privately and will not be commenting on them any further at this time.
You know what the funny part about this is? So obviously we all know that, or for those of you that are not familiar, because I am a big fan of the NBA, that Rashad McCants recently made an appearance, and then also Lamar Odom previously last year made an appearance and recorded, and we did some cooking up over in the studio on the podcast, right? And the interesting thing about it is that obviously Anthony Edwards is getting married and all of this stuff, and you know, I know the sentiment of, and they giving me all of the game of what's really happening with a lot of these young NBA players. But I guess my first question is this, right? Because I know that young people do what young people do. And, you know, especially for a dude that's a budding star and he's going to be a multi-hundred millionaire and he's going to make a lot of money. First question is, why are you so adamant about getting married if you decide that you're going to be out here living recklessly and not strapping up when you busting down these chicks while you out here on the road? Secondly, why is these chicks not signing paperwork? Third, why are y'all having children with? Why are y'all out here having children with women that y'all don't want to have children with? What did you think was going to happen? Yeah, I know you're a millionaire. Yeah, I know you can send 100 bands. Now, not only is she putting your business out there, who knows if your marriage and your relationship is in turmoil or if you even sign a prenuptial agreement when you got married. And then third, you still out of 100 bands and she's still coming out here in order to ruin your reputation so she can get more visibility and clout off of you. Now, I won't go over to her Instagram and give her any kind of clout because I'm really getting disgusted with women and how in their behavior these days. But y'all keep justifying it, such as what it is that we seen last night. They say he's not married, but he's acting like he's about to get married. So what are we talking about? Last but not least, Texas governor, who probably should be the president of the United States if you don't elect Trump, decided that he wanted to give police officers, sheriffs, and the arresting officers within the state the ability to be able to deal with the migrant crisis as they see fit.
The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, signing a new law that allows police to arrest migrants who enter that state illegally. The move likely setting up a showdown with the Biden administration. NBC's Morgan Chesky joins us now with more on this from Dallas. So, Morgan, what more do we know about the new law, first of all, and the reaction to it?
Yeah, Craig, good morning. Several notable changes coming with this law, starting with the fact that it will make it illegal to cross the U.S.-Mexico border anywhere except those specific legal ports of entry.
Spit it out. Spit it out, cowboy. Spit it out.
In addition to that, overnight, we're hearing from the White House, who is saying that this law is extreme and making Texas communities less safe. Meanwhile, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has said this is a necessary tool to deter migrants from the ongoing influx, and that right now we know that these numbers are only appearing to go up. As you mentioned, this empowers state authorities, state troopers, sheriff's deputies, and police officers the ability to arrest migrants on state charges, whereas currently they are not able to do so. Craig?
So at this point, Morgan, any idea how this could play out in court?
Yeah, the legal challenges could be coming from multiple fronts here, Craig. We know that civil rights groups have already threatened to sue as a result.
Think about this for a second. Civil rights groups, the very people who's complaining that the migrants are upending what's happening within their communities and their neighborhoods, are the ones that are threatening to sue Greg Abbott for what it is that he's doing in order to try to protect our borders. Interesting.
Of this being what they call unconstitutional. Congressional Democrats also leaning on the Justice Department to push back, but we could be seeing another showdown between the state of Texas and the White House, which would be similar to another challenge we've recently seen. A court recently ruling against that 1,000-foot border buoy in the Rio Grande that Texas Governor Greg Abbott called a vital tool in deterring migrants. And legal experts say that this could prompt a revisiting of a 2012 Arizona immigration law, pitting the state against the federal government. In that case, Craig, the court sided with the federal government, but Texas Governor Greg Abbott is confident that this law will stand and it takes effect come March.
So Greg Abbott decides that he wants to take a stand for the American people, and more importantly, the people that's in his state. And he's being fought. Keep in mind what's happening here. He's literally being fought by the Biden administration, the president, civil rights groups, and people that continue to run in the Victim Olympics.